So welcome everyone to yoga at Bonnevaux. If you've been joining the class since the beginning of the French lockdown, so in March, you'll recognize that we're back in the barn. This is where we meditate 4 or 5 times a day, or 20 times a day, or 1 time a day. And it's a great space. The reason we moved out of the barn was the more primitive equipment we had was causing a lot of echo, so it didn't work. And we now have new camera and new mic. Our internet is still as it was. We're still hoping to get fiber optic relatively soon. So in the meantime, we are also dependent on the internet, but we now have a mic and a camera that are able to work on low internet. So if we crash, the thing to do is to be very yogic and wait. And you'll either come back on or just put yourself back on, and you'll see that as soon as possible we can continue. But this is being filmed at a much higher quality, and those films are put online, and you should by now have received a link either from me or from Leo. If you haven't, let me know. And also you can choose to view this on Zoom or YouTube. So those of you who've been attending, we've been following a pattern and a cycle which has to do with taking time to set up the basic vocabulary that I think applies to any movement practice, especially wonderful practices where you're trying to link ancient systems like Tai Chi or yoga or Kung Fu or whatever with contemporary knowledge that we have of how humans move and gravity, how they get up, how they map where they are, how they balance, and so on. So we've been using yoga as the frame to build a practice for ourselves, and then you can see that we're also trying to understand what works for people in general, and then what works for us. So if we're doing something and you don't feel comfortable, don't proceed. Listen to the variations I might propose. We've started the class lying, sitting, standing, and so we're going to start lying today, and we're going to pick up on some of the key themes and then add a little bit as we go along. So here we are, you're lying on the floor at home, at somebody else's home, in a hotel room, or here in the barn at Bonnevaux. You're on your back. And just beginning to notice that we have a tendency to look at ourselves and a capacity to choose to not be, quote unquote, looking at ourselves, but actually to be with ourselves, to be near. That's how the human nervous system builds its sensorial reality. It doesn't need to be based on vision. So just take a moment to just play with that idea. You know, am I looking at a YouTube of myself thinking, oh my God, I'm already terrible at yoga and we're just lying on our backs? You know, are you doing that? Are you worrying visually if your spine is straight or the back of your neck is long or your stomach is sticking out or whatever? That thing. And are you also being able to say, okay, here I am. And the first thing we played with is our sense of weight. Sense of weight. Some of us have problems with sense of weight. We feel we're too light, or we're too fat, or we're too round, or we're too whatever. But actually, this is the basic thing that a baby feels as it comes out of the womb. It feels immediately contained. So containment happens immediately. Its own skin replaces the womb of the mother, and it's suddenly in weight, and it can't talk about it with its little archaic brain, but this is what's going on very quickly. And soon the triad appears, which is volume. It starts to very slowly begin to feel space inside, and eventually, after about 4 months of crawling, it starts to develop depth perception, and that's when babies stop falling downstairs and start becoming contemplative babies. So here we are, you're on your back, and you're just feeling the weight. Alors, tu es sur ton dos, ce que j'ai dit, c'est pas vraiment important. Tu es sur ton dos et tu te mets avec ton poids. Tu essayes de ne pas te regarder avec l'œil intérieur, mais d'être avec le poids qui est par terre. And then the way we know our weight is because we're moving. So just notice that as you breathe, your chest fills and empty pendant que tu respires, et le thorax se remplit et se vide, que tu sens ton poids. So the breath is just moving, and as you relax, you will notice it's a micro movement, but also your head rocks. In fact, all parts of the body, including the organs, even the cranial bones, they all rock in relation to two things: the breath and the production of cerebrospinal fluid in the body. And the breath is a significant movement, even if we're breathing in a very subtle way. It makes a big movement of all the things in the body. So to help with that, widen your arms a little bit from your side. Yeah, like a foot away, 30 centimeters away. Widen your legs a little bit and straighten the legs. Okay. Tu élarges, dis comme ça, les jambes un peu, les bras un peu. Et tu respires et tu ouvres une perception et une imagination que quand je respire, il y a une oscillation dans toutes les parties du corps. So even if you don't feel it, just, you know, like Alcoholics Anonymous, this is Yoga Anonymous, fake it to make it. If I'm shouting, if it sounds horrible, tell me, because we have to work it out in this space. So the breath comes and goes, the body rocks as you breathe, and you're just enjoying feeling that you're weighted, that you're heavy. And you may have gone to your head, peut-être c'est tu vas à la tête, tu vas au popo, tu vas au pied, you go to your bum, you go to your feet, wherever you've gone to be with this sense of weight. And the breath is moving you, and the weight and the breath are near. They're not concepts you have to go and read about. You can do, but breathing is something we do all day long, and especially if you have a contemplative practice or you meditate, you realize when we get quiet, we notice that the breath is doing something, and it anchors us, brings us back to harbor. The breath, the weight, the nearness, and this realization that my body is moving all the time. It will stop moving after you take your last breath when you die. I don't know if you've ever been with someone at the moment of their death, but there is an extraordinary out-breath, and that's it. And everything, it's like ripples on a lake. Everything becomes more and more still. Movement, breath, weight, nearness. Don't complicate. There's no right way. There's no right way to breathe. Breathing in your belly is not the right way or the yogic way. The normal thing a body is doing is that the chest and the belly move together. That's normal breath. If you sprint for a bus, your chest will move more. If you are digesting on the sofa, your belly may begin to move more if you allow yourself to go towards sleep. So it's just like that. So now, put your attention around your shoulders, neck, and head, and just notice what's going on there. Notice, yeah. 99.5% of the human family is tense right there around the top two ribs, shoulders, and that's why we struggle in meditation. Ça va? Tu as compris? C'est ici on a beaucoup de tensions et des problèmes. Et c'est pour ça qu'ici, on sent souvent des douleurs quand on s'assoit pour méditer. So on met la tension là. And then we just let the heavy head, full of water, full of content, begin to rock or glide from side to side. From side to side. This is a beautiful thing to do also before you fall asleep. Yeah. Just letting go, noticing, beginning to learn that we don't let go of the head. We don't let go of the head. Even on our pillows, we're still hanging on to the head like we hang on to our legs, especially in the quads on the front. So the body is, we don't realize it's ready to flee and fight most of the time because we're stressed and tired and bothered. So practicing means being able to really choose, okay, I'm safe, I don't need to get up and do something. I can really let go into deeper layers of stillness. So the head is rocking. And then as you do that, let the mouth open a little. So the jaw, the lower jaw hangs open, your teeth separate. Yeah, tu laisses que la bouche s'ouvre, les dents se... And the head is heavy, the mouth relaxes open, the jaw, you don't hold it open, it just hangs through its own weight, the lower jaw. And then you let your attention enter your mouth. Tu mets ton attention dans la bouche, tu es dans la bouche, you're in your mouth, and you feel you be with the roof of your mouth. Okay, and we're going to imagine that the roof of the mouth is softening and widening and lifting. La toiture de la bouche devient plus doux, plus ouvert, et ça, elle monte comme un pain qui est dans le four. Comme ça. Just let the roof of your mouth release and let it find its dome again. Most of us flatten the roof of our mouths to be in control with the relationship and the space around us. So we just let it go. Let the roof of the mouth blossom and billow and breathe. From time to time, the head can wobble again. And then we notice that we can be, as the mouth relaxes, we can be behind the nose. So open your imagination, and you are behind the nose in the beehive of sinuses behind your nose. Tu vas derrière le nez, et tu te trouves dans cet espace rétronasal là. Ça c'est ouvert, ça c'est grand. Et tu es ici, tu es dans cet espace derrière les yeux et le nez, behind the eyes and the nose. And from time to time, de temps en temps, tu peux onduler un peu avec la tête. Time to time, the head rocks, and it's the weight that's sloshing side to side. Beautiful. And swallow if you need to. And just very simple, very uncomplicated, extremely profound. We could say that the bone of the roof of your mouth, it's actually two bones called the maxilla. It's an old bone in the body as it's forming. That bone is at the center of the storm of the movements of your body. All of this incredible richness of movement, from soft rocking to the jarring of biting while you're chewing. But the maxilla, this domy bone on the roof of your mouth, is this place of balance and ease at the center of your head, but it's also, let's say, very central to the whole line of your spine. Yeah. So jaw tension and eye tension, all that kind of worry tension, head way too far forward, all of that stuff, just ripples out and we become exhausted in other places. So Really let the mouth relax open. Space behind the nose. And then the tongue is softening. The tongue is like this beloved toad that lives in the pond of your body. Your body, you know, your lips are the edges of the pond, and then there's the pond, all that water in there. And your tongue, imagine that your tongue is relaxing. The back of the tongue is the back of the throat, but imagine that your whole visceral river, all the organs as you go down, the lungs, the heart, the stomach, the duodenum, all of that fermenting pulpa, all of those things, all the way down to the anus, all of that stuff, the stuff behind the kidneys, the liver, it's all part of this intelligent toad's visceral body with its toes dangling way down into the bottom of the lake, touching the mud at the very, very, very bottom. And every time you swallow, it's like the eyes of the toad, which are right on the surface of the water, open and close. And it's intelligent. It's intelligent. This inner river of organs is intelligent. It's another brain. It's called the enteric brain. And it's rich in synapses, not as many as your brain, but many, many, many. And it's through here that our emotional shift travels in relation to the middle part of our brain. So the toad is something to fall in love with. From lips and tongue all the way down. That's, huh?
No, I just suddenly realized Geert.
The what?
I suddenly realized Geert is.
Oh yeah, maybe he was cleaning up. On parlait de la langue. Et tu imagines que ta langue est comme une grenouille, on dit ça? De quoi? Il y a le grenouille et l'autre, c'est quoi le plus grand? Le crapaud. C'est un crapaud dans le mar qui est ta bouche, et le corps du crapaud, c'est toute la partie viscérale jusque l'anus. Et le crapaud est le roi de son lac. Il est très, très intelligent, très, très sensitif. Yeah, the breath, the rocking, the weight, the pond, the water, the toad. We're going to come back to the spine as we've been doing, but I just wanted to put this all in just to help you to play with the fact that the soft toady part of your body, the organs, came before your bones. So first you were soft and then you got hard. The bones did not come first. And the bones forget this and they feel like they're in control. But actually the richness of the movement of your spine, we're going to do all these movements we've done before, comes from a possibility that the soft organ body is saying yes to this. So we can never force the body. It never works. We can't force the bones. Can't force the bones. So here we are breathing and soft and rocking and toadying. Okay, so we've done this movement before. Jacques, tu peux voir si tu veux. On a déjà fait ça. We're lying on our back. We're going to let the right leg rock out and slide up. We rest and then we let the right leg fall out and slide long. But we're with the toad. On est avec le crapaud dans le lac. On n'est pas avec les os et les muscles. So the leg. And when the leg slides long, we just leave it there. We can put our hands on our groins and we're working with the weight. Yeah, this is a very profound and healing movement in the lake of your body. And it's the moment where the leg has slid long that we leave it. À la fin du mouvement, tu laisses que la jambe. Oui, ça. Tu peux faire un peu comme ça. Tu peux mettre la main là si tu veux. Voilà. Comme ça.
Et c'est à ce moment que tu le laisses et que tu laisses que ça s'allonge. Yeah. Yeah. Try to use a bit more. Let's see, John. I'm going to take the yoga mat away. Try to, it's this moment here. This moment, strength is, but you don't, you let it go. Okay, and then you see you were lifting the foot. You don't need to lift the foot. Then you rock, you find, you feel, then you allow it to drop out. Again, really, and you don't need to do anything yet. And then you let it slide. Then you rest. This is the moment where this lets go all the way like this. All through. So your inner thigh, which is obviously all muscles, but you can imagine, I'm just going to move the yoga mat for you. You can imagine that your inner thigh is visceral. It's part of the toe. So we're here, we're rocking. We're completely wasting time. Completely and utterly. Yeah, then you let go. And then there's this outward roll. Now don't do anything. Wait for it to finish. You feel? As long as you don't have pain. And then you let it slide. Now, here, just because the big leg muscles are tricky, they try to lift and help. So you want to, and you want the visceral toady river we've been playing with, you want it to slide along. So it's as if it comes all the way down here. And then you lie there for hundreds of years. Yeah, so as kids, you probably did that on the beach. You lay with your legs in the sea. It's on the Mediterranean, it's easy in Miami, you just get kind of washed away by the wave. But you get a wave that washes up your body and then it washes down, and it's like the ocean takes your legs. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so we're not stretching the body, we're letting the world, this beautiful world, take our legs one way, take our arms another way. Yeah. This is a very samurai version here. Yeah, so here you are. Yeah. So you can even wobble your leg. I'm doing it with David. You too loud? Yay, okay. You can even wobble your leg a little bit like this. Then you get that external rotation. And then it's not so much here. It's like something pull. Yes. Yeah. And then you're at the limit of your rotation if you don't have pain in your hip joint. And you really resist lifting the leg. That's the secret. So it's through the weight. And then, of course, you use a bit of adduction here to come up. And then you can let the leg rock a little. Yeah. And for you, the external rotation is easy, but this is very good. Just to let yourself be here. We're going to go more in a moment. And then it opens. And then it slides. And then you hang out right there and you just wait. So your leg, this leg is lying longer than that one now. So we let go, you know, we let go in this tension because you're like this. Let go of the leg. Voilà, le son avec la jambe. Are you sliding? Yeah, beautiful. The legs could get wider, they may stay parallel, you know, whatever. It's nice here with Mike. You could be more asymmetrical, that's fine. So you've really let go on this side, but it's different on that side. So don't try and fix it, but something happened here that's amazing. You're like a meter longer. Yeah, you're going to be walking in circles for a while. Yeah, if you can't find Mike, he's probably circling a tree somewhere. Yeah. Great. Let's do once more on each side. Une dernière fois. Ça va, Jacques? Yes. Voilà. Remember, on est avec le poids. Le poids, et on ne regarde pas. On ne regarde pas le film. We're in the weight. We're in the weight. We're in the weight as we move. And of course, we can apply all sorts of intelligences to this. But this is really the elephant, quote unquote, in the room. That we don't realize we've left the weight and the containment of our body. And we are in words and visual stuff, and we don't realize how tense-making this is. Beautiful. So let's bring each leg up in using this pathway. External rotation, something pulls the knee, the leg comes up. You can do both. You can do one at a time, but that looks amazing, yeah. And then you've got both legs up, knees are bent, feet are on the ground. Widen your feet just a little, especially if you're like me and they struggle to stay up. And then allow the knees to fall together. And put your hands, your fingertips on your groins. So the knees are falling together. Yeah. So this is very profound. This is like the movement we just did, but the opposite direction. So when you let the knees fall towards each other, the head of the top of your big bone of your upper leg, the femur, yeah, this is fine. It doesn't matter if they don't touch. I totally understand. But when you let the legs fall together, you can see me on camera here. It's as if you were letting your legs fall home, especially me and you, those of us who have a lot of external rotation. And it starts to widen the back. Starts to widen the back, right there. Drop onto my fingers. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So we let the legs fall towards each other. And again, we let the weight. So weight is like a heavy rain. It's like it's pouring with rain on your hip joints. And your legs are resting in their homes. Yeah. That's okay. You can hang out and come back. Yeah. The head can wobble a little bit. It's nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. And just letting. Ooh. No, let go. Just follow me. If it's painful, you just say. Just letting. Is that okay? Yeah. Just letting the legs fall in. Yeah, this is good. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so then your right leg and your right hand. Put your right hand behind your right thigh. You don't need to go far, just near your bum. Okay? And then your hand is going to assist as you just let your right leg sail towards your chest. I just did it over here. And then you can hold on to it. Yeah. And just hold on. Voila. Et on est là. Tu tiens. Don't squeeze. Just let it bend. That's beautiful. Just stay where you are. Just feel this very deep releasing, bending, folding that's happening where the hip meets the pelvis trunk. Yeah. And then your left hand goes to your left back of leg. Same thing, touch. And then when you're ready, the leg just sails up. Yes. Now you've got both. And you can put your hands around your knees, behind your knees, comfortable. You can hold the hands together or let the legs be a little bit wide. So whatever feels nice to you. Yeah, but we're not squeezing the legs in too strongly. It's not necessary. Just let the leg fold as you breathe. Every breath, you will feel that the legs release and lift. Il y a une oscillation. Si tu laisses le poids de la jambe se plier ici, Tu laisses, tu trouveras avec l'inspiration peut-être il y a un peu de mouvement, avec l'expiration ça tombe. Et il ne faut pas que tu fasses quelque chose, ça se fait tout seul.
Yeah, beautiful. Let it fold in. Okay. And now let's see how this works for your arms. You're going to reach around your legs and you're going to try to hold one hand with the other one. And for you, this is great because it takes you in the opposite hand. Yeah, that's it. So lock your fingers or hold, whatever you need. And then, so you're holding your folded legs, and with your arms, just make a little side-to-side rocking, like rocking a baby. Little, bigger, smaller, whatever. Easy, very easy. Alors, c'est seulement les jambes. It's just the legs. It's just the legs. Yeah, voilà. It's just the legs, a little bit one side. Yeah, don't get lost in a hypnotic, repetitive thing. You can change the rhythm, you can stay on one side. I'm going to do what we're doing, and if you want to do your own thing, you can go back. Just hold. Yeah, like that. And then we're just rocking. But the legs are separate from the trunk. Yeah, it's just that, that's it. Is that comfortable? Mm-hmm. So it's just the legs rocking. Yeah, your legs are like a shoebox that's getting squished one way and then the other way. Yeah, so it becomes a parallelogram and then it squishes the other way. Beautiful. And then your right leg, you're going to let your right leg just ease away from your hands and slide long. It doesn't need to externally rotate unless that happens naturally. And your left leg remains in your hands. Voila. Soft and easy, slidey, very, very easy, very easy. That's it.
And we let the leg release long.
Okay. So the next bit is important. I'm here with Mike. If you can just play with this. If you squeeze your bent leg towards you, you will feel that it pulls your other leg up. You feel it kind of pulls on it. So if you let go of your bent leg to the length of your arms, you'll feel that the bent leg is still bending, but the straight leg is releasing long. And that's what we want to have, both feelings in the body. Yeah, it's very evident on you. So we want to be here, and it's quite nice if your lacy fingers are more on the kneecap. So there's a feeling of down, and then you just let that go. You don't do anything, because this takes time. That's it. And the long leg is allowed to just release long. It's allowed to, so you have a river leg and a waterfall leg. Tu as cette jambe-là qui tombe comme ça. Et tu la laisses, et ça qui va vers la mer là-bas. So you have a folding and a length. Voilà, tu sens ça? You have a folding and a lengthening. Beautiful. Yeah. So, and it's quite a profound movement if you don't pull at it or you just let go of any ideas of how it should be. Yeah. There you see. So your body's doing something new right there. Soft in the mouth, soft with the head, resting in your sense of weight. Beautiful. And then we can change legs. What I would do is I would bring the straight leg back via an external rotation. Voila. You rest a moment, tu te reposes un moment pour sentir. Just rest a moment, notice, and then let the other one slide off. And it's going to be different, like Mike, obviously the two sides will feel different. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if the straight leg is no longer parallel. You just
kind of just enjoy where it went. Yeah.
So everyone's naturally doing little movements. So that's wonderful. Little circles, little side to side. You can wobble the straight leg.
Tu peux laisser que le corps fait des petits mouvements. Tu peux faire comme ça. Oui, pour... oh, tu peux faire comme ça. Comme ça. Beautiful. So, yeah.
So learning to release and orient the deep leg is more profound than stretching the leg, which is also helpful, you know, like joggers do when they bounce into their hamstrings or whatever. But that's a much more superficial thing. So this is deep gardening, which supports other stuff. You know, if you get cramps or you need to go running and your Achilles tendon feels tight, that's fine. You can also do other things. But this, learning to let gravity take you. And there is a deliciousness there that we have to get used to looking for. Because often we're quite severe with ourselves and we're not really letting ourselves float down the delicious river. Very nice. And then moods can change or insights can happen. So of course, this kind of practice has always been considered the antechamber to your time of meditation and also a good way to complete. You know, if sitting makes you very uncomfortable, then you can practice a bit like this afterwards. Great. Okay, so we're gonna bend both legs and put the feet on the ground.
Les jambes pliées.
Just notice where you are, feel where you are.
Yeah. Just notice what's different.
Notice what's different. Yeah, the breath. Yeah. So this is the bedrock for doing all the other more complicated and fun-looking poses, which we've been adding slowly, and we can do them ad infinitum until you're wrapping both legs 13 times around your neck and balancing on your left ear, which is known as Ultra Waka Waka Asana. Yeah. So we're just going to let the legs fall to the right, both legs fall to the right. Yeah. And we're just going to introduce this rotation. On va introduire cette rotation dans la colonne. Breathe. And we're going to let the left arm travel up the floor and up and around. The left arm, quand tu arrives là, peut-être il faut qu'elle monte un peu, and the arm takes you all the way onto your side, sur la côté. Let your arm take you, onto your side. And then you're on your side for a moment, just hang out there, just how you ended up. And then your arm, I'm over here with David, your arm takes you. So don't start rolling from your belly. It's your arm and then your shoulder and your neck and your vertebrae. And eventually your legs come back. Et après, c'est le bras qui te ramène à la position. Et éventuellement, les jambes sont les derniers à retourner.
Et après, il y a l'autre bras, and then the other arm, the other leg. Yeah. The shoulder. Yeah. Here. So you can put a reminder that you will bump against. Yeah. And then the arm takes you around. Yeah. So go back, Lucinda, just for a moment. Yeah. So when you do like this, it's nice, but it's elbow to here, which is okay, but it's different from reaching for the chocolate. There, you feel the difference? Now the whole torso, it's this reaching with the hand, which is similar to what we did with the leg. And then look how extraordinarily things move, but you don't need to plan any of that. That's it. And then the other side, and the arm takes you. So we're going to let it flow more. We're going to let it flow more until we're rolling around and rolling around. And you can do, and it's a new form of boule. Boule. You're doing this kind of rolling and you're letting the bowling, your ball roll on the floor. Yeah, it's a complete mess, but it's marvelous. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. Roll round. Roll, roll. Yeah. Yeah, okay, very nice. But listen up, listen up. So you don't want the upper and the lower body to move at the same time. That is becoming a sea cucumber. You know sea cucumbers, they're a cucumber at the bottom of the sea, and they roll like this. They roll to the left and then they roll back. So watch me for a moment. So that sea cucumber is when the whole thing just rolls. And often we do this because we're braced here and we don't realize we're actually irritating the spine. You know, this is sea cucumber. But if we let upper or lower, it doesn't matter, like the leg, you see I've rotated, so I'm no longer a sea cucumber. Then I go around, and then my arm takes my upper body first, and then my legs follow. Okay, so I'm actually separating lower from upper. Nous voulons une séparation, un écart entre le haut et le bas. Pas tout ensemble, mais tu faisais bien. So the legs go, attends, the legs go and you feel it opens a movement. And then the arms go and you feel that the legs follow. Don't problem it, that's it. Just kind of let it, that's it, Henriette. You deep sea cucumbered yourself. Yeah, well, the Dutch sea cucumbers are very expensive. Yeah. So, yeah, so it's great. Your shoulders try to cucumberate you. They try to lock it all in. That's it, that's it. And you roll, that's it, you feel? So the upper and the lower, they dance together, but they're not locked in. Of course, you could do, if you needed to push a heavy car, you would brace everything. That's it, David. And a few more times, and let yourself roll, let yourself roll. The legs, that's it, the legs, and then the arm follows. And the legs and the arm follows. Yeah. And the breath, if you're making sound, that's it, David. Wow, was your shoulder okay at that moment?
Yeah.
That's amazing. If you're making sound, you can be sure you're not holding your diaphragm, your breathing diaphragm. And right. Right.
Actually, I know what it was.
The what?
I was leading with my shoulder, not my hand.
Oh, yeah. Well, because you were frightened.
Yeah.
Yes, but now it is something. Great. So come back all the way. All the way. Yeah. Yeah. So we're just going to play. You're just going to let yourself roll to one side, leg or arms leading.
And as you get over to the side, just keep going. Roll onto your hands and knees and come up to standing. Yeah, just roll. On va faire toute la chose, on va arriver du pied. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. All the way up to standing. Yeah. Yeah. And we're just gonna take your time, walk around if you need to, but then we're just gonna be like this. You don't need to be super organized with parallel feet, just easy. And then after you've rocked around a bit, just come to rest. Yeah, and just feel where you are, what it's like. Notice the space. Notice what's changing. Yeah. Just really easy. Yeah. You feel? Yeah, I just brought you forward, but I didn't want to say it. Just let it. No, it's not that I'm telling you what's right. It's just neutral. Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just the cerebellum has the CD-ROM of this one.
Yeah.
So
That's
that feels right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're actually leaning back.
Yeah.
So don't correct too much. But when I push you forward in the shoulders and I bring your hips back, then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm diving forward.
No, I'm hanging over a cliff.
Yeah, picture, no. It's the abyss of David.
Indeed.
It's the David Canyon. It's deeper than the Colorado. Yeah, do you see?
Mm.
Yeah, so we're just upright, but yeah, not looking at yourself, but you can just play, you can lean back, see, let your pelvis go forward, there's nothing wrong with that. But if we live here too much, it's tiring. Or we can go the other way and you can be walking around like that.
That's a bit now.
Yeah. So you can just hang out here a bit, let the pelvis slide forward and lean back. Don't bother yourself, don't hurt yourself. Or you can go a little forward. Yeah, and if you've swallowed bad posture from some granny or uncle or parent, just try and drop it, because there isn't really bad posture. Posture is a potential for doing what you want to do. So if you want to be a ballerina, you have to turn out. If you want to be a mountain climber, you're strong somewhere. You carry your kid. But when we do something too much for too long, we do, like you and I, then we're going to feel funny things in certain places. That's all. Or shoulders, if you're in your shoulders the whole time, then you go to meditate and you're like, ah. So when we lean back, the body kind of wants to turn out. So just let it. You can turn your legs out a bit, you can turn your arms. On fait une rotation externe. And just don't hurt your back, but just kind of enjoy this amazing bad posture. Just enjoy it. Yeah. And then if we do the opposite, so you let your bum stick back, the body will naturally want to turn in a bit. So you can let your arms, so you did that a moment ago, but you can let your arms roll in, you can let your legs roll in. Yeah, and if you can even drop your head. So we've done this folding. Let's let the knees bend and fold, and you can rest on your knees. And really enjoy the bum sticking out. Oui, les ischio-crural, là. Voilà. Et tu te reposes complètement sur les genoux. You don't need to be so low. Trouve la position la plus économique. Is that okay? Yeah. So are you fine?
Yeah, for a bit.
Yeah. So we really let go. We really let go. We really let the tail hang. Yeah. And then we're just going to drop. Now, only if this works for you, if your back bothers you, don't. But we're going to just drop the hands to the ankles. Yeah. And your hands drop onto this bend where the leg and the foot meet. And we let the weight of our hands drop. And you can move your hands around. You can even massage in there. It goes very sort of dry and stony. Yeah.
You can play with your toes.
Yeah, this is a great one to do on the toilet, obviously. So yeah. And then you slowly come back up. But if it bothers your back, put your hands on your knees and push yourself up. Otherwise, you can roll up if it's comfortable. Beautiful. When you're all the way at the top, don't rush. Don't look at yourself. Yeah, beautiful. You know, it doesn't matter. You may be in a slightly new place. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be perfect. Yeah. And now we're just going to put the hands on top of the head. Les mains sur la tête. Yeah. Just feel where you are. This changes things because the elbows are up. So just feel this. And then as you make roots into your legs, you just let the arms float up. Yeah. And the arm is actually opening this area. Yeah, so it could just be shoulder, but the arm, as the arm lifts on côtes avec le bras. Pas toutes serrées, hanging. And then you enjoy, and then you just go the other way. So you're not bending where you were long, you're now just going to lengthen on the other side. And of course, as you lengthen up, you're rooting down. So you're separating this area of your body where the pelvis and the ribs are very close. Yeah. Yeah. And the body might bend more, but don't put your focus there. Yes. Yeah, that's really beautiful. You know, your shoulders look different. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. Soft. Very nice. Okay. And just let it all drop. Yeah. Feel where you are. Notice what's changing. So either we're looking and shaping, which could be interesting, but it doesn't have really a long shelf life, looking and shaping. It doesn't lead to practice, you know, because it's performing, and when no one's looking, you're not going to perform. Someone's looking to see where you stuck your leg. But if you're not looking and shaping, and you're sensing the weight and orienting and attending to the breath, we become surprised by accidents of perception, because suddenly your body did something new. And that's what causes you to want to go and do Tai Chi or roll around on the floor, because there's a richness that is emerging. Okay, so here we are, just standing, looking pleasantly drunk, Sufi style. And we're just going to take a step forward as we go towards closing the session. Step forward with the right leg, it doesn't need to be big. So, and what's going to happen at home is as you step forward, just don't step too much in front of the other foot, mainly. Okay, so leave a bit of space. Yeah. Yeah, so we stepped forward. Yeah. And then we're going to let the arms go up, and we're going to put the hands on the head. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, we're going to turn from the belly button up, de ici jusqu'à les bras, on va tourner, but we're going to explore not turning from the belly button to the feet. Okay. So just explore for yourself. On va faire une rotation avec la partie haute du corps, d'un côté à l'autre. Yeah, and not too tight. So also do it completely wrong, where the whole body goes. Yeah, so you realize. So, okay, that's a vertical sea cucumber, right? When the whole body goes. But what we did on the floor, right, was legs go and then arms, or arms go. But you see, I'm derotating here. And this is what the body can do. The upper and the lower can be separate. And that the early poses in yoga aim at that separation. That's it. So if I was doing with David, and I hold his pelvis not in place but down, I give it weight, immediately you feel? Immediately you can feel that the upper body is free. Mainly because it gets lift. I could feel David kind of lifting from deep inside. Yeah. C'est ça. Maintenant, tu es plus immobile là et tu bouges là. Yeah, that's it. So we picked this apart quite a lot in an earlier class, but this is the beginning of the triangle poses in yoga, which are the first poses we do after lying and rolling on the floor. And now here we are, we're just going to let the arms go up, and we're going to remember that the arms are the wings or the leaves of the carrot. This is the root. So it's the lifting of the arms that allow me to explore this rotation without the lower body following. And the lower body is not being imprisoned, it's just rooting through the feet. C'est les pieds et le poids de les jambes qui les incitent à rester là, pas emprisonnés mais là. Et c'est le corps qui, avec ses ailes, qui monte et qui rote. Qui tourne. Voilà, beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. And we just make a ha sound. And do it at home, because I can tell if you're not doing it. As you make this sound, look far. Yes, John. Project out to the horizon and let the horizon look at you with benevolence. This is actually what makes us live. We open. It's like you're a fisherman on the lake or a fisherwoman on the lake of Galilee, and you throw your net. That's it. You throw your net. Throw. That's it. Beautiful. Beautiful. And come back and go for a tiny walk. We'll do the other side and then we'll close. Just feel. Ça va. Walk, free. So just remember on the floor, we did one part and then we slowly followed the hand. But of course, we can accelerate this, and you can really play. And you could come all the way around and come up to standing or go somewhere else, and before you know it, you're doing capoeira or something. So we're going to do this in standing. We step forward with the other leg. We're on the back leg. On a changé de jambe. And then we're just going to throw our arms up. Don't worry about where they go. We throw and we rotate and we come back. Throw and rotate and come back. Or throw the other way. C'est comme tu es sur un lac et tu jettes ton pour attraper les poissons. Le filet. That's it. So you really throw the net up. Yeah, the net of your senses, and that's beautiful. And then the more you root through your feet, the more free you are. Yes. That's very nice. And the giggle makes it even better. Yeah. Throw. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And you can see on yourselves, or if you're more than one person in your living room or on each other, you can see these rotation and counter rotation here. Yeah. So we've worked with the weight and the breath. We've spent a lot of time building head and tail, but today it was more feet and hands, so root and wings. So we were more with the periphery, but the theme is the same. Let's just close, on va finir comme ça. Let's just close like this. Forehead resting on your hand. Now, if your back bothers you, or your neck bothers you, est-ce que tu veux bien là? Oui, pas de problème. Oui, ça fait super. Alors, tu peux être haute comme ça, ou plus bas comme ça. And what we're doing here, as you rest your forehead, so you can put your forehead on the floor or on your hands. When it's on the floor, you open more the back of your neck. But when you've got your forehead resting on both of your hands or on a book, your neck makes a little curve. Tu vois? Il y a la possibilité d'une petite courbature là. And that little curve, allowing the neck to have its natural curve, is a good thing. So we're just letting that happen. Yeah, I'm just going to come around and poke you in the neck. Is that okay? So it's here. And if you let your mouth hang open and you let your toes be happy in there, you feel, then, and if you've done a lot of movement practice, very often you're taught that this is not a good thing for the neck, but it is. It's the primary movement of the neck is that curve. So it's a wonderful thing to let that, is that okay? And you're okay? From all the net throwing. Yeah, there, like that, that's beautiful. Yeah, so let your lips hang, let your tongue hang, allow yourself to have a contemplative drool for a moment. Just let yourself settle. Okay, so thank you everyone, and join us again next week. If this has been helpful for you, remember that they're posted, and it's all of these cycles of classes are free, but if you can make a little donation from time to time, that's incredibly helpful. £1 is amazing, so whatever, or a euro, or $1. Thank you, next week.